Hello chat, Dan VR. So today we're putting our thinking caps on because we're actually going to use our fucking brains. Today the mod staff, they put out essentially just a quick announcement, their response to the situation that we are going to quickly discuss and maybe pick apart some of the inconsistencies, okay? So the first paragraph here will start, accusations on pedophilia and grooming are taken extremely seriously, and actions upon these individuals cannot be taken unless people come forward and evidence comes to light. Yeah, that's 100%. If you know something, say something. We encourage all of you to speak out against these bad actors. A few recent incidents had happened in private DMs, and we were unable to take action until knowledge of the incident, as well as evidence, was provided to us. Unfortunately, we found out about this at the same time as all of you. I find that highly improbable. As to all of you, as you all should. That is highly improbable. For the amount of times that there have been whispers and scandals previous to what Rom discussed, you would think that they would have, at one point, decided to have an audit or to maybe look through or investigate some of these people. I find it highly improbable that multiple different moderators are being, shut out, thrown out for pedophilia and for grooming, and no one knew. As if this moderator is an isolated individual who does not talk to anyone else on the staff or anyone else in the community, and no one at any point overheard a conversation or saw a screenshot and thought maybe that's a little weird. I find that infeasible. And for those of you out there who don't know what infeasible means, it means highly unlikely. There's just no way. Is it possible that somehow no one knew anything? Sure, it's possible. Is that probable? No. I cannot obviously say this with certainty, but I would put money down. I would put money, a significant amount, on the bet that at least one person close to Yumi or close to Jamie or any of these other people close to them knew that they were fucking up or knew that they were fostering inappropriate relationships. There's no way they didn't know. This is just a save their ass statement, essentially. Just, oh, we didn't know. Bullshit. And we see that going into the second paragraph. Recently, the moderation team has received, acknowledged, and dealt with reports of misconduct by members of the moderation team. There are moderators who have silently stepped down. I want you guys to pay very key attention to that, but with the only context being that they were stepping away from the community. No. Look, they are lying to your face. They are outright lying to your face. And it's obvious to me because, like I've been saying, these people are fucking idiots. This is the worst written, forgive us page I've ever seen. This is the worst written announcement. Your first paragraph establishes that you are essentially claiming, innocence by ignorance. You had no clue what was happening. You were not involved. There's no way you could have stopped it. And then in the second paragraph, you would then you say that silently people have stepped down. And it's not, don't tell me that it's just like, hey man, I'm done. This is enough for me. I know that's not true because I'm sure people have heard in the past moderators have stepped down because they got caught up doing inappropriate shit. It's right there. It is right in front of you. They acknowledge that. Okay, well, let's go a little further into it. In one instance, this was intentional. Not all of the information of the situation was revealed, and the moderators were only told that the mod had stepped down. Told by who? Does this imply that, Horror, the senior mods, sort of handled the situation and then told everyone else, forget it, they're gone, it's done? Wow, what an incredible team leader. I mean, shit. Who wouldn't want to have their leader tell them absolutely fuck all? Who wouldn't want to be in the dark on literally everything? That seems like a great way to maintain cohesiveness. At the time, we believed the dispute to simply be a personal disagreement, so details were kept obscure as to prevent harassment. In retrospect, this was a poor decision on our part, as it later turned out that the situation was more malicious than we originally understood, which left the matter poorly handled. At least they can acknowledge it. Third paragraph, actually. Another issue that we are addressing is the lack of professionalism shown by some moderators when it comes to their comments and decisions made in public. We do not condone rule-breaking behavior, but we believe that it is essential to be fair when applying rules to the players. To this end, we will be amending our publicly accessible mod code of conduct that will hold our moderators accountable for their actions. No, you do condone rule-breaking behavior. You very much do condone rule-breaking behavior, because all of these situations that people are complaining about, where the mods are acting unprofessionally, they're being biased, they're being bigoted, some of them straight up insulting, telling players to kill themselves, telling players to go fuck themselves. This is happening in player general, in the public sphere of influence. So by you seeing this, obviously because multiple mods are in chat at one time, you see this and you say nothing. So you are condoning it, okay? Don't fall for these lies. Don't let them fucking one-up you, throw these whataboutisms in there and just, oh, sorry. All right, forget about it. Let us go. Don't let them just fucking weasel their way out of this. They condoned everything that happened because they knew it was happening. It was happening in player general, and they said nothing, and they did nothing. If they genuinely believed in their own code of conduct, if they genuinely didn't condone this rule-breaking behavior, they would have jumped people the moment they were fucking up in player general, but they didn't. Previously, this code was lost in the messages of the community news channel, which meant that some infractions went unnoticed until they were brought up later on, by which time the damage had already been done. By making this code more accessible to players in the rules channel, we hope to improve transparency and accountability and create a more positive and inclusive community. Notice how they're trying to throw this onto us, how they're trying to throw it onto the community. We know the rules, we understand the rules, because a lot of us have read the code of conduct or the moderator rulebook. It was not ever hard to find. The problem was that you fuckers never read it, and you fuckers never followed it. Don't try to make this about us not knowing how it works. It was always your fault. Do not ever try to spin that on us. Hell no. And I can say that with 100% certainty, because in the past, I made a video, kind of like general tips that I was giving to the mod staff. A lot of you who may not know or may not have seen the video, be familiar with me. I have a 9-to-5 right now. Like, I'm in college, but I work a 9-to-5, and I'm a fucking manager. I work hand-to-hand with my HR department. So all day, I'm working with a staff of 30 to 40 people at minimum. I make the rules. I review the code of conduct. I do the conflict resolution. My whole job, essentially, is solving issues. I write the rules. I make the rules. I train people. I keep the show running. And I offered aside from that video, I had personal conversations where I offered my expertise and I offered my, ideas. Where I said, 10 months ago, essentially, your code of conduct is very lacking. Okay? This essentially just says in their previous code of conduct what they can do, not what they should do. They never drew any lines in the sand and just sort of said, it gave them idea of, this is about how much power you have, The influence required to make the decision to ban someone. Stay within the sort of, if you don't, monkey see, monkey do. If another mod's not doing it, don't do it yourself. That's about how it worked. It was very vague. It didn't offer much. I also said that your rules are incredibly rigid. Your rules are very black and white. It's either they did it or they didn't, ban, not ban. But most situations in life and in this game are not black and white. It's a shade of gray, and you need the ability to have individual discernment in these situations to better serve the community. You can't just have a one-size-fits-all rulebook. And they told me to just fuck off, essentially. They did not listen to any of my advice or any of my concerns, which ended up being exactly what fucked them over. Do not allow them to write this off and just say, forget it, it's done. This is weaponized incompetence. They knew that they could be doing better because people brought it up to them and they saw it and they did not care. They pushed this to the point of failure, essentially. They ignored all these issues. They did not make it any better because it would have taken them work. It would have cost them effort. So instead, they let people get hurt and they let people get fucked over and they ran a shit show up until the very point where it collapsed, which is what happened. They're reinventing the mod staff because it collapsed. Do not let this slide. Do not just say, fuck it, it's done. This is not enough of a response. I, like most people, believe that they have to just start from scratch. They need to just wipe out, at minimum, 80% of the mod staff and rebuild from there, because this is ridiculous. Somebody just writing some shit up response, and then we're supposed to forget about all of these people who still were a problem, who are still on the staff, who will not be any different, and if they are any different, it'll be short-lived. You know, you can't change your nature. It'll probably be 30 days max, and then they're back to the shit they used to do. Don't let this slide.